That is pretty... Oh my God, I almost hit the car. Jesus. Hello everyone, thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my previous videos. These show you the building, the printing, the mods, what's worked, what hasn't, things I've had to do to get to this point where we're at now. So, without further ado, enjoy this video. Mom's minivan, twin turbo Corvette. We got ourselves a 6S Z Lion pack for the twin power Dolphin. So we're gonna do a little weight here, show you guys the difference of what we were running and what we got. So there's good old trusty, never let us down 4S 5000 milliamp pack, 302 grams. 450 grams. Now, as you saw in the previous videos, I had to open this sucker up for my lithium ion pack to shove it in there. Well, as you can see, she's got a little bit more room in there now. This thing obviously fits in there easy breezy, no problem. And we had to really open her up to fit Big Booty Judy in there. And again, with it sliding in there, everything balances out. CG is fantastic. Totally worth it. If you didn't do this, you'd have to add probably another, 100 grams of weight to this to make it balance out for the CG. It is, I mean, especially when that battery's in there, dude, it's like, it becomes part of it. It's not going anywhere. There's still plenty of meat, and it's just, you just kind of have to do this. Come around here to the back, and I'll put a little light if you can even tell. But that battery, I mean, it's almost back there to the spar. I went, that seems to be just perfect. And now one of the bigger upgrades that we've done is you can now see the gentleman that designed this kit. He kind of was listening to everyone and noticed how everyone was using washers to get that thrust angle set. So now, without any washers in there, he 3D printed this mount that has a 3-degree angle to it. And I can kind of show you, this is the original one. And then this is the one that has the 3 degrees to it. So it's kind of, I don't know how well it's going to be to see on camera, but as you can tell, it's thinner down here and thicker up here versus this one is the same thickness all the way around. And he also opened up the front of it to give it a little bit more cooling, as you can see right here as well. Again, for me, I just, like I said, I mount my ESCs on the bottom. I just printed out this box I made it in Tinkercad, and that will be down below in the link. I just kind of have to remake it because I can't find it, and I deleted it. But anyway, so this is nice. So no more washers, and I also, when I downloaded it, because I'm printing this with 100% infill, I had to, he also resized it as well. He made it 99% smaller. I had to resize this in Thingiverse, and I just adjusted this access that goes right here. I just made that 1% smaller, and then it fit, because it was still a little too big. But it's getting closer and closer, That's just how this stuff works. You gotta test and tune, baby, test and tune. So, we've done that. We've got the 6S in there. We'll get some weight here. Let's do a weight check. All right, the weight, 1,343 grams. That is everything, bada bing, bada boom. And that's it. I made some slight modifications in INAV, and I'll show you what I did, and let's go review that. All right, everyone, let's jump into this. I'm gonna go over the basics, I guess, here first. So in the mixer tab, again, you're keeping your plane when you're doing this mod, you're keeping this as a flying wing. The only thing you're gonna do is you're gonna come down here to your motor mixer, you're gonna add a new mixer rule. And that's gonna be for your second motor. You need to make sure that motor 1 is the left motor on the plane. That would be the port side, nautical terms. This is the right one, just how it is here. S1 is on this side and motor 2 is on this side, because eventually what I'm gonna do is we're gonna have a flying wing with differential thrust. And for that to work properly, that's just how it has to be. That's what I'm told. Do what I say. So now we're here at advanced tuning. I went ahead and changed my idle throttle and my launch throttle. I lowered these values. I can almost tell you, I bet you this is probably gonna be too high. I just have a feeling, but this is where we're gonna start. Better be safe. I also went over to my navigation setup. This is also what is used for like your return to home. I adjusted my minimum throttle, my cruise throttle, and my max throttle. I think this is gonna put me somewhere. I'm trying to be under 10 amps, and I'm not trying to exceed 40 amps for the most part. Everything else on here is the same. The other thing too, let's see here, let's go back to ports. As you can see, I also have on UART 2 and 3, this is my ESC output telemetry. Since I have 2 ESCs, I have them on both of this. Now I'm only getting one on my goggles, and I don't know if you can read both at the same time. If you can, if you know how to do that, please post in the comments. And then we'll go down to the OSD. And as you can see here in the OSD, I have right here, so I'm getting my ESC temperature in Fahrenheit, freedom units, and the motor RPM. So what's the RPM the motor is doing? I'm just trying to keep an eye on this. I guess I need to look up and see what the max a safe temperature is. If you know what a safe temperature is, like, or a good hot temperature that you can run without really melting the thing, post those up in the comments too. I would appreciate it. And then I go down here, motor RPM from ESC telemetry. It would be nice if I could have both of them. That way, if I could see if one's failing, if I'm running it too hot, I could have maybe one here and one on the other side. But anyway, that's where I'm at. So that pretty much covers my tuning and what I've done. Other than that, it's the same old, same old. All right, and the next thing I'll show you here is my ESC setup. What I do, I have to use, with these ESCs, I have to use the BLHeli suite. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this version right here. This is the BLHeli configurator. It looks like INAV and everything else, really easy to use. I just can't use it with these ESCs. Sometimes it's one or the other. So we're back here with the suite. We'll go ahead and connect. All right, so it's connected. If you have issues connecting it, you have to come up here to your interface, and I am using this one, the Clean Flight. I had it on the USB comm. I did not want to connect, so I had to do this, and then everything was good. So let's go ahead and read the setup. That did not work because you got to plug your battery in. Now let's try it. Hey, there we go. So it's read the found the ESCs, excuse me. Now I went ahead and I label mine. So I have my ESC number 1 is the left wing, and then I come over here to that's the right wing. So what you have to do, number 1, if they're not spinning the right way, we'll just use the left wing for example. Direction normal. You would do this, and you can do all kinds of crazy stuff, reverse or normal. The other thing is going to be your brake, and let's see here. Also, you want to make sure you have your telemetry on, which is right here. Brake on stop is set to 100%, so you can see how much brake you want to have it use. I'm assuming by raising this value will also increase its idle current, if I had to guess. So that's what I've done. I toned down my startup beep volume, like I make it really quiet, and then of course the beacon is the normal length. And there's other options here. I don't mess with them, and that's it. So brake on stop, make sure my motor direction is good, and then I just lower my startup beeps. And that's it. All right, so we got all of our modifications done. It's ready to go. Let's head out to the flying field. The winds aren't super bad today. I think they're around 10 mile an hour, 10 to 15. And let's see what this thing can do. Okay, here we are, 6S pack. everything's ready to go. We got all the mods on here. It's a little windy today. It's not as bad as it was before. We're gonna launch it into the wind. We're gonna see how this thing does. I believe we're at the, I think this is the final setup here. Let's go. That was absolutely effortless.
Navigation return to home.
That was effortless. That thing just, I probably could just let it come out of my hands. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go in the car. So we're gonna take it out of return to home. We are flying in angle mode. She seems a little bouncy. She definitely seems a little bouncy. Let's take a look. Might need to washer that motor up. So, let's see here. I can pretty much do 45 amps. I'm gonna put it in manual, see how she flies. So I can do 45 amps continuous with this. The motor's rated for 50 amps continuously. The ESC is rated for 45 amps continuously with a 50 amp burst. And the battery is rated for 45 amps continuously. So let's get some throttle percentages. And let's see what we have here. I'm going to go to, let's just put this in angle to hold it. At, let's see if we can get this thing down, 25% throttle, it's pulling 4 amps. I'm doing about 25 mile an hour right now. I'm kind of going into the wind, or yeah, I am going into the wind. So there we go. Let's go ahead and we'll bump this up to 40% is about 10 amps. 40% throttle is 10 amps. What's 50%? 50% throttle is 17 amps, and I'm going into the wind, going 60 mile an hour. Not bad.
Manual mode.
I'm pretty sure that this thing will just climb and climb and climb. Yeah, it's pretty much can just climb straight up, no problem. I'm at 50% throttle, and I'm pulling 20 amps, and I am pretty much just climbing vertical right now. That is nice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can tail sit this craft. Holy smokes, that was fast. So that's nice. Okay, let's put this up to 20 amps is about, put this back, 20 amps. I'm at 56% throttle. Let's see what 30 amps is. 30 amps, I'm at 70% throttle. I'm going 100 mile an hour. Let's turn this, I'm gonna pull the throttle back. I'm still in angle mode. Let's go back to manual. Let's go into the wind. Holy smokes. Where am I even at? There I am. Oh my gosh, this thing just moves. All right, back into angle. Let's pull 30 amps. So 70% throttle, 30 amps, going into the wind. I'm doing 63. Let's push it a little bit more. Let's go right to that hard deck of 40 amps, 80% throttle. Pulling the throttle back now. Wow. That is pretty awesome. If I go into horizon, I'm just gonna, I got the camera turned. I'm gonna push this thing to 50% throttle, and let's just see. Yep, it pretty much, I was trying to just see if I could go straight up that way, but it did not work. Yeah, it just seems to settle itself pretty well. Let's go ahead and test the ESC brake. We'll go ahead and, actually I'll put it in manual. Actually, we'll keep it in angle mode. ESC brake, throttle off. That's pretty good. Let's check the other one. That's pretty good. I have my ESC brake. Throttle back is on. Turn it back off. I have my ESC brake set strong to keep that thing from freewheeling. I am going with the wind right now. See what kind of glide this thing has. You know what? Better yet, let's do this. She's pretty heavy. Let's go into the wind, and we got enough height here. Let's just go ahead and stall this thing and see what happens. Throttle is off. And 15 mile an hour, 12, 11, 10. I'm pretty much, there it goes. Wow. She definitely stalls a little differently. Let's go with the wind and see how she stalls. I think, which way am I heading? I need to head due west to go with the wind. There we go. Okay, I pulled the throttle all the way back in manual. And about the same. Alrighty. Man, I just have to be very careful with my throttle here. My throttle inputs. That's back into angle. Guys, I think she's good. I do think we need to do either... I need to add another washer. So with this new motor mount design, it's pretty close. If I stab the throttle, it kept it pretty level in angle mode. Let's pull the throttle back. Let's fly this thing inverted and see what happens and see if it'll climb. I'm going to set the throttle at, let's just say 36%, pulling about 8.5 amps. Yeah, she really wants to shoot. I still think I'm fighting it. I got good speed. I would say maybe we might just need to add one more washer to that motor to get it to level out. Let's go ahead and we'll head back to home base here. And do some low passes here.
Manual mode.
We'll go into the wind here. Yeah, I'm doing every bit of 80 mile an hour right now. She is moving. This is like a whole nother deal. Jesus. All right. So that's pretty sick. Let's do some agility testing. I mean, I can just pretty much wrench on this thing. I'm just yanking and banking, man. It is just turning. It is like on rails, F1 style, guys. Yeah. And I am hauling the mail. I mean, I'm running 50 mile an hour right now. Holy crap. And I'm at, like I said, 40% throttle. If I do yard sale, it is going to be a proper yard sale. Oh yeah, dudes. I mean, we're just hauling the cheddar here. She's flying good. I'm in manual this whole time. I mean, I'm not flying with any stabilization at all. Acrobatically, this thing will probably be super fun. Oh, I'm so glad I did this. And we'll just keep flying it. That is pretty... Oh my God, I almost hit the car. That is pretty... Oh my God, I almost hit the car. Let's just take this thing straight up pretty much. I'm hovering right at 37. I'm pretty much climbing vertical, dudes. I am just trying to aim at that cloud the best I can. And I mean, we are just going straight up. straight up. Woo! Straight down now. Yeah, I mean, she's spinning good. She is definitely flying like a beast. All right. Now, since I've done this twin mod, I have yet to have a landing that was worth a shit. So we're going to have to try and do a nice little landing here. Whoops. Yeah, so you pretty much got to have about 25% throttle with this thing to bring it in. Else she does not. Hey! Yeah, dudes! That was an awesome landing. I think we take it. I think we take it. I mean, there we go. The flight controller feels a little warm, but that's where all the power is going through. Motors, everything feels nice and cool. I think we're good. Let's get this thing back and we'll get back home and talk about it. Well, all I can say is, yes, this plane is awesome. The twin setup, the 6S, the power, the fact that I can just climb straight vertical and it doesn't stop, and I'm not even at full power. I went, I think, what was it, 105 mile an hour, and I wasn't even like at the max yet. I don't know how fast you can fly a foam plane. Like, I don't know if this thing will rip apart at a certain speed, but I'm gonna keep pushing it. Another thing we gotta get in my brain is that it's heavy. The plane weighs, I got the scale here, 1,341 grams. She's heavy. Because she's heavy, she doesn't glide like she used to. So I have to land this plane faster than what I did before. It's just all there is to it. So definitely street landing is nice, in my opinion. You know, you can always find a long street, plenty of runway. And with it landing faster, I just worry about landing in grass or tall grass and just catching it on something and ripping the foam up. But that's just me. Obviously, we know since it can climb straight vertical, it produces way more thrust than what the plane weighs. This tail sitter is going to hopefully, possibly work out. The new updated motor mounts with the 3 degrees pitch. Thank you to the gentleman that designed that on Thingiverse. You're the whole reason we get to do this. I feel like that has put me in the same spot I was with having the double washer. I think I'm going to add one more set of washers, just one washer to the top mount, and just give it a little bit more. See if that does anything. If it doesn't, then I'm just going to go back. I am going to, once I get this dialed in and I know it's good and I'm not pulling the motors on and off all the time, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to add another nut, a screw here on the top, just to secure it, and I'll put some dabs of hot glue just to prevent these things from, working their way out. You know, if another thing too, if you didn't want to do this and you want to do this on a 4S setup, you could definitely do that. And I was contemplating just ordering another set of wings from AtomRC, building the whole thing again, and then ordering motors and props for a 4S setup and just see how well that does. Maybe a lot longer flight times. Of course, it's going to weigh less because I can use my smaller 4S battery. But overall, oh, and the programming notes, INAV. So I adjusted my settings down. I can launch this plane. That plane launched, it would have just come right out of my hands. So I believe you can probably launch this thing at 1,500% or at 50% throttle, no problem. Into the wind even, and it's just gonna go. The cruise settings seem good, the return to home settings, so it's like max throttle. All that seemed pretty good. Of course, I'll keep tweaking it, just keep watching videos, and I'll share my INAV settings. But you definitely do not need much to auto launch it. It's gonna go no matter what, for the most part. Power-wise, again, these motors are rated for 50 amps continuous. The ESCs are rated for 45, can do 50 amp bursts for 10 seconds. and the battery's rated for, I believe, 45 amps continuous. I don't know if it's got a burst setting or not because it doesn't say, but you know, you could probably get away with 50 amps for 5 seconds or so. I'm pretty sure this thing will probably, at max throttle, will probably pull 70 amps, if I'm guessing, which I can't do. I mean, I could probably do it for a second or two, but probably shouldn't do it. I'm not trying to damage this. This battery pack alone was, I think, almost 90 bucks. Probably gonna get a second one, that way I can, if I want to spend a good hour out there flying around if I want to. But the thing is just on rails, like it's hard to stay off the throttle. It's so hard. And it's just a blast. It's a blast having this power at your control and being able to do whatever you want. You gotta worry about things stalling out or losing speed, climb anywhere. Just awesome. Alrighty, and so I think that wraps it up with this video. I think we've pretty much gone over everything. The next video will be probably just a flight, some slight tweaks. Maybe you'll see the tail sitter mod. Just keep an eye on the channel and look for updates. So until then, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.